So just a quick recap on how to fret power chords. So if I just start on fret 5 of my bottom string, string 6, so first finger's playing this note, and then the other note in the chord, that's the root note my first finger's covering, and the other note in the chord is with my third finger, and this is always one string lower and 2 frets higher. So that's an A5 or an A power chord. And the other main way of playing power chords is to fret them with the root note on string 5. So this time staying on fret 5, string 5. This note is a D, so my first finger is playing the root note, and my third finger is exactly the same as before, one string lower and 2 frets higher, so that's on string 4. So that's a D power chord. Again, check out the beginner technique lesson for more information on all this. And it's worthwhile practicing these with distortion, because they're designed to be played with distortion really, because they sound more powerful, hence the word power chords. However, it's worthwhile from time to time just making sure you can play them clean as well, because you might not realise that some of your notes are maybe a little bit rattly, you're not quite sounding all of them properly. Okay, so with power chords, the great thing about them is, once you've learnt how to play one power chord, as in on fret 5, we can play these, we can move exactly the same shape wherever we want on the fretboard. So you can potentially play a power chord in any key using any note. So if you remember, we always use A, B, C, D, E, F and G, the first 7 notes of the alphabet. They're the notes we use in music, and you can even play sharps and flats with power chords when you get used to them. So it'd be really good if you can learn what the different note names are on the strings that the bass notes are on, so on strings 5 and 6. Now we're not going to learn any of the other strings. We're not worried about strings 1, 2, 3, 4 for the time being, and we're not even going to learn where all of the notes are on all of the frets. We're just going to concentrate looking at what we call the natural notes, which are just A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and not any sharps or flats. So we're just looking for 7 notes, and once you've learnt these, then you can turn them into power chords. So for example, A, we just said, is fret 5, string 6. Now the majority of natural notes are in fact 2 frets apart. So if I move up 2 frets to fret 7, that becomes a B, just counting up the alphabet and so on. So the vast majority of natural notes are 2 frets apart from 2 sets of notes, B and C and E and F. So for example, I've hit B, fret 7. If I want to go to C, I've now got to just go up a single fret. So C is fret 8. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and go through from the open string, so start off on string 6, and we're going to play all of the natural notes up the neck of the guitar. So we've got open E, and straight away F is just 1 fret apart, so F has to be fret 1 from the open string, and then F up to G is 2 frets. Okay, now when we get to G, we don't use any other letters in the alphabet, so we've got to start again, so we go back to A. So G to A is 2 frets, so A is now fret 5, G was fret 3, and then A to B, 2 frets, so B is fret 7, and then B to C, just 1 fret, so C is fret 8, and then C to D, 2 frets, and D is fret 10, and then finally D to E is also 2 frets, so that takes up to fret 12. Now on most guitars this has got a double dot, because fret 12 is what we call the octave, 1 octave higher than the open strings. So if open string 6 is an E, fret 12 is also an E. There's more information on octaves in the scales lessons in this section. Now we don't need to worry about working out any higher up the neck, because if we just imagine fret 12 is like the open strings, it's just like we start again. So E to F was 1 fret higher, so that means F's 1 fret up, which is now fret 13. So F to G was 2 frets up, so F to G, so G is now fret 15, 2 frets higher, and so on. And if you look on most guitars again, the fretboard markers, the dots or wedges or whatever it is on your guitar, are normally on the odd numbers, so frets 3, 5, 7, 9, and then also the important fret 12 for the double dot. And then from there, moving up the neck, the wedges are positioned in exactly the same way, so, or the dots rather, so 3 frets higher than fret 12 is the same as 3 frets higher than the open strings, and then these dots here are just spaced in exactly the same way on the odd numbers as these lower dots.